Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Jabber Gaming Jaws here, wanting to talk to you guys about JRPGs in 2018. Actually in 2017, because that's when both of these games that I'm going to talk about came out. And the games that are in question are Final Fantasy 15 and Persona 5. Now, Final Fantasy 15 I bought on launch day way back. Recently I picked up the Royal Edition, and the reason that I actually bought a hard copy is that if you own the original version of the game, to get all of the extra stuff, the season pass, the DLCs, everything that was included in this version, you'd be spending about 40 bucks. If you went to the store and bought this, it was 50 bucks. So I got another hard copy of the game, which I could give this to someone or just have two copies. Plus, I really like this artwork a whole lot. So I was definitely looking forward to getting back into Final Fantasy 15. I really enjoyed the game at first when I played it. Especially, I really liked the gameplay. I thought that the story was probably the weakest part of the game, but I thought that the gameplay and the world were really awesome. So going back to it, I decided to New Game Plus it, so I had all my same levels and everything. The one thing that I wanted to experience was the story. I thought, okay, so I had looked up a bunch of videos about it. I had heard a bunch of people talk about the story. I thought that it was probably more there than I had picked up on. Plus, I had heard that they were adding to it. So I was really excited. Let me tell you, so playing the game again, being focused on the story was such a disappointment, because when all of the gameplay elements were kind of taking back seat and I was just going from plot to plot to plot point, and it was tough because the story really is so lacking, and I really don't think that it's necessarily the story as much as it is the delivery. People are always like, oh, well, you got to make sure that you watch the anime and the movie. I've done all that. I did all that before I played the game the first time. I still got to the end of the game and had no idea what the fuck was actually going on. Playing it again, I listened to another person critique the game, and they said that it felt like there was a lot of payoff without build-up. And that's completely true. So there are a lot of these really raw punching points that are supposed to carry a lot of emotion, but they haven't done the build-up with the characters in the story to make you really care. It's like the game is emotionally here and you're not there yet. Like, they never brought you to the point. So that's been really tough going back to. And everything that they've added in so far, I haven't beaten the game. I've gotten about halfway through the main story for the second time, and everything that's been added really has not gotten me there, and it's a big disappointment because that was the one part of the game that was so hard for me. Now, Persona 5 I bought soon after it was released, not quite on release day, and I was absolutely addicted to the game. I played it non-stop for a couple weeks. I got about 54 hours into the game within about a week and a half. And I was working, I was doing a whole lot of other things. I was just like, every spare minute I had, I was glued to this game. And a lot of the reason for that was because the story and the characters was so gripping, not to mention the gameplay. And the battle system was turn-based, but completely fresh and new and amazing. This game, to me, is the pinnacle of what a JRPG should be in 2018, or 2017 when it came out. I have since gone back to the game. I got sidetracked for some stupid reason, and I wasn't able to finish the game at the time, so I've picked it back up. I've put in another 50 hours into the game. I'm currently sitting at about 105 hours. I believe that I'm pretty close to the end. Most people say that it takes about 100 hours. The game is so good in every single way. I really can't think of off the top of my head, I can't think of a single weak point of this game. Every point is very, very strong. The gameplay, the story, the characters, it's phenomenal, and it really just makes me realize how much Final Fantasy 15 was a disappointment to me. Again, like I say, it's not a bad game. It's not like I didn't enjoy the gameplay and all that, but when you strip away the gameplay elements and the world and the exploring and the side quests, which were somewhat subpar anyways, a lot of the side quests, they were definitely not like Witcher 3 level. It's just a shell of something that really should have been a whole lot more awesome. And that's been really hard to come to grips with. Um, but you know, Persona 5 stands as this shining bright light in the genre. And as somebody who grew up playing JRPGs, and I absolutely love JRPGs, and I have no problem going back and playing the old ones, and I will love those games for the rest of my life, this game stands tall among those. This is my favorite game in the JRPG genre that has come out since the PS2 era. There's a couple that I haven't played that I think might be on par. Lost Odyssey comes to mind on the Xbox 360. I have the game, haven't played it yet, but I've heard really, really amazing things about it. But I'm really, really grateful to Atlus for coming out with Persona 5, for having a vision of what a JRPG should be in the current generation, and being able to make it so fun and intriguing and gripping. And if you haven't played this game, if you have any inkling to play a JRPG at all, or if you just like really good story and characters and compelling gameplay, you absolutely should definitely pick up Persona 5. This game is just addicting, honestly. It's so awesome. And they weave in the characters with the gameplay so seamlessly that every single thing that you do, every time that you develop a relationship with one of the characters, you're also influencing the gameplay. It's awesome. It's really a masterpiece, and I would say like it's one of my absolute favorite games of this generation. It's definitely way up there. It's way up there, and it is the best JRPG that I have played since the PS2 era. So do yourself a favor, play Persona 5. I really wish that I wish that I could be saying all of this about Final Fantasy 15. I am an old school Final Fantasy fan, you know. Got myself my Final Fantasy 8 apparel here. I love the series so much. It's really sad that they just weren't able to get the story all the way there. And the problem with Final Fantasy not having the story get all the way there is that the story has always been the driving force with the Final Fantasy series. It's been the strongest point. When other things were mediocre, the story was always right there taking you through. And it's sad that has now taken a backseat to other elements. And if you're into that sort of thing, I mean, I don't doubt that someone will enjoy the game. I enjoyed the game a lot. Obviously, I bought the game again, you know, hoping that there would be more story there. And I was just really disappointed that even with the updates, the story is just not really what I was hoping it would be. Alright guys, just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out there, process a little bit. I've been thinking a whole lot about the JRPG genre and the mishandling of it recent years, and finally what Atlus has done in making things good again. Persona 5, gotta give them props. Alright guys, hope you're having a good one. Get Jubber Game and Jaws. Peace out. Later.